You, ma'am, right here, ma'am, ma'am, Jessica. See, you're doing a weird thing because the show is this way, but your chair is facing that way.
Security guard,
The
right?
dog. I wasn't sure if it was the dog or this Irish lad in front of you. Yes. Feel free to turn around. You could look this way, or you could just do the radio version and just get the audio and stare into his beautiful emerald eyes right there. Yes. All right. She's like, no, it's not him. It's got nothing to do with him. I love the dog. That is Looney, the Wonder Pug. If you've seen her, she's the security guard. Thank you, Jim, in the back. She's also the headliner tonight. She'll be juggling flaming chainsaws, so stick around. Right at the very end. Eight of them. Eight of them. Yes, yes, yes. I'm your host, Lars. I'm the proprietor of Laughing Vikings and the proprietor of this alley, which is now known as Comedy Alley, formerly known as Alley. It was just alley. There was, in fact, it was one of the most unfunny alleys in the land. It was known as just not this place again. But we turned it. Yeah, and you want to know the secret? Turning a regular, boring old alley into a comedy alley? Mostly umbrellas. Mostly umbrellas. Is it me? Okay, you're right. Yeah, it started with me. I bought all those. I bought them all at Dollarama. You know, I bought nine children umbrellas. One of them's not missing if you're counting them. There's only 8 here now, I think. I got 9. Is there
Children
nine?
are the umbrellas.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only 8 now. I lost one. I'm like an old timey family where it's like I gotta have 9 kids just in case one of my umbrella kids dies young. But we still got 9 of them here. We're doing good. I gotta say, perfect wardrobe choice for the alley.
Wait, what are you wearing?
Exactly, right?
Who are you wearing?
Hey, Jessica, I'll run the show, all right? I'll run the show. Give it up for Jessica. She's audience captain /
All the way
fashion
from
designer.
Stratford.
So did you, I'm assuming you didn't realize that you were, like, when you were getting ready, you're not thinking, I'm going to dress perfectly for an October night in an alley tonight. You're a trooper. You're a trooper. Were you born in Canada? Is that where you get this cold Canadian blood? Because I don't give a fuck. I'll do this all winter long. I'll do this in the middle of February, and people will be like, "What happened to Lars?" And then people will be like, "I heard he died in a snowbank in an alley during a show." I don't think the gear can take it, but I can take it. I got Viking blood in me. I'll be here. If you guys want to come to a show in February, fucking right. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We'll serve hot apple cider. And we'll have blankets by that time. You want like a sweater for your legs or something? What is your name? Say again. Rima? Rima. That's beautiful. And you? Okay. Just if you're wondering what's happening tonight, this is such a small venue. By the end of the night, I make it a point to learn everyone's names so that we're all friends. And if I ever need a couch to crash on, I got some friends. I got Jessica and Lee. Gotcha. Rima and Mike, I can remember that one. And up front, we have Paola and Wendy. I was expecting something way more exotic from you. Are you guys? No, I was going to say sisters. Wow. I was going to say sisters. Good for you. And I sense a little Latin influence. Is that right? Where from? Where is it? Oh, my favorite. Give it up for the Dominican Republic, everyone. Oh my God, I've been blackout drunk in the Dominican Republic for all of my friends' weddings, actually. All of my friends' weddings were all inclusive in Puerto Plata or Punta Cana. And it was a great deal, and I don't remember any of it. It was great, but there's plenty of pictures. Thank you. Well, welcome. This is the first time in the alley? Do they ever do any alley shows in Dominican? Kind of, yeah.
Or have you ever done anything in an
They
alleyway?
make the best of things, yes. What? Your grandparents' alley? Wait, are we going to be collaborators, or are they my direct competition? Is this my direct? Because my goal, my mission is every alley. We talked about this. I'm not stopping till there's a comedy show in every alley. I'm going to be kicking out heroin users from alleys to be like, get out of here. We got a show in 15 minutes. You got to put your needles aside. Yes. This is great. So just to tell you how things work, every Friday and Saturday we've been doing these at 9 o'clock. I host most times, and BK Broiler's always here DJing it up. and then we put together a lineup. Yeah, that's for him, right? That was
Represent.
good. Represent. Every week we put together a lineup. I think I just had a mini stroke. That was just a little mini stroke right there. I'm immune to them by now. I got a stroke vaccine, so I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Some guy in an alley. Yeah. So what I was saying is, what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying.
Mini stroke.
So every week, mini stroke. Every week I have a stroke on stage, just mini ones though. And we book 4 headlining comedians, people who have won awards across Canada, been to all the festivals just for laughs. They've been to Moncton, they've been to Winnipeg, they've been to Halifax, they've been to Vancouver, they've been to London, Ontario sometimes. You're a sorority girl from yeah, I went to Western, so yeah. Fanshawe, right. Well, welcome to the alley. Later on, we're gonna light this fucker on fire, just like those good old Fanshawe parties. We're gonna light some couches on fire and have a good time. Exactly. I'm from London. We used to wear T-shirts at Western. If you're wondering, Western University is kind of known as like a little hoity-toity with fraternities and sororities, a little stuck up. And we used to have T-shirts that said, "Don't hate me because I go to Western." And on the back it said, "Hate me because I'm better than you." But I'm not better than anyone. We're all the same. We're all equals. This alley is the great equalizer, everyone. So every week we got headlining comedians that you're going to see. People who have done, I'm going to tell you their situation in Canadian comedy and Canadian entertainment. They've done everything they can do in Canada as an entertainer except leave the country. That's the next. If you go, every one of the comedians, you're going to see their. If you went home and saw their vision boards, it would just be check, and one box that says, "Get the fuck out of here." But, ladies and gentlemen, we want to keep them here. With your help and your loving energy, you can maybe convince these comedians to stick around, because you know where they want to go? They want to go to LA, and LA is currently on fire. It's currently on fire.
Bad traffic.
Think about that. These people want to leave alley-full Canada here and go to somewhere that is currently on fire. But maybe you can save them from the fire. So if we give them enough love and energy, save them. Yes, and we almost have like a 2-to-1, maybe 3-to-1 audience to comedian ratio. So at the end of the night, we're maybe going to ask you guys to sponsor a Canadian comedian for less than a double a day. You can sponsor a Canadian comedian and keep them in the alleys here in front. You guys down for that? Yeah, that's right. All right.
I'm sponsoring a hairline, bro.
I got to do a little bit of housekeeping here. One thing that we started here, we start some traditions. We have some new alley traditions, and one of those is we have a good old alley jingle / swashbuckling song that I teach. This is the alley theme song, and it's my hope that you guys go home tonight and it's stuck in your head all night long to the point that you're cursing me tomorrow. You're like, that fucking Lars in this song. So I'm going to teach you. It goes something like that. It'll be call and receive. I'll say it and then I'll go. And then you guys say it. You guys know how that works, right? I'll say words and then you say those words. It goes something like this. We're in the alley now.
We're in the alley now.
Comedy Alley. Wow.
Comedy Alley. Wow.
Live on Facebook and YouTube and also on Twitch.
Live on Facebook and YouTube and also on Twitch.
One more time. Live on Facebook and YouTube and also on Twitch.
Live on Facebook and YouTube and also on Twitch.
Comedy Alley. Wow.
Comedy Alley. Wow.
Comedy Alley. Wow. Live on Facebook and YouTube and also on All right. How you doing? Are you frozen? We'll find something for you. We'll find I don't know. Heat up some spaghetti or something. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna heat up some bags of spaghetti, and you can just place bags of hot spaghetti on your lap. And if you're hungry, you can also eat some of those. I also have to pay some bills here tonight. We have sponsors. We have show sponsors who've been nice enough to help us put the lights on. They paid for the umbrellas, actually. So I gotta do some live. Yeah, but they gave me the money to buy them. I did, but yeah. I like how Jessica is testing the logic and the truthfulness of my umbrella Dollarama story already.
Inner
What?
super
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
superintendent.
You're in an alley right now. None of this is going to necessarily make sense. Don't expect all dots to connect tonight. All right? Okay. You're in an alley. Just remember that. Okay. So we actually had, I don't know if you've heard of him, we had Morgan from Morgan's Mortgages and Smorgasbord sponsor the show. Give it up for Morgan from Morgan's Mortgages and Smorgasbord. Have you guys been? Have you been? Lee? You never been? Okay. Well, it's a ground floor opportunity. There's still a few franchise opportunities left, but he's asked me to just do the live commercial for you guys. I'll be playing the part of Morgan. It goes a little something like this. Hi, I'm Morgan from Morgan's Mortgages and Smorgasbord. That's right, Morgan from Morgan's Mortgages and Smorgasbord. The Mortgages and Smorgasbord guy. You heard me, the Mortgages and Smorgasbord guy. That's right, the Mortgages and Smorgasbord guy. One more time, the Mortgages and Smorgasbord guy. Why waste time going to 3 stores for all your Mortgages and Smorgasbord needs when you come on down to Morgan's Mortgages and Smorgasbord and take care of all your Mortgages and Smorgasbord business in one spot. So the next time you need to renew your mortgage, store a loved one, or eat a hearty meal, come down to Morgan's, come down to Morgan's. When you need a mortgage or a mortgage or a smorgasbord.
Are you selling mortgages?
Yes. Yeah, we're selling it all. We're selling mortgages, mortgages and smorgasbord. They say you come for the smorgasbord, but
get a
you
mortgage
stay for the mortgage.
At the end of it.
And the mortgage sometimes too, yes. All right. You guys ready to bring your first act on of the night?
Yes, sir.
I'm not doing that till you show a lot of love. Okay, here we go. Your first act tonight. She is a Canadian Comedy Award winner. She's known around here as the mayor of comedy, and she just recorded her first album, Haunted House. Give it up for Sandra Battaglini.
Give it up for Lawrence Crossington, guys. Woo, how y'all doing? Come on, let me hear your Saturday night.
I need mortgages.
Oh, mortgages. I have a mortgage. What an enslavement. You know what I mean? Fuck the banks. You know what I mean? I can't wait. Who's that? Who just yelled at? This guy? They don't have mortgages there? They have smorgasbords and morgues and schmorgasbords. And the lovely hills of Ireland. You know what I mean? Are you married to this guy?
I've got no land. I've no land.
You have no what?
I've no land.
You have no land.
No road frontage.
So that's why, are you dating him?
Until I get
This is so weird. She's looking at the floor. How do I respond? Yes. She's not married to him because she has no land. I love that. None of this is our fucking land. Stop talking about land. Hey, we got trouble. This land is our land. Not really. You know what I mean? This land is your land. Forget about it. From Bona Vista. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God, having a good time. I love when you said I'm a Canadian Comedy Award winner. Those awards don't even exist anymore. You know that? The last time they had awards, the guy who ran the awards and the guy who ran one of the clubs, they got into a fist fight. So that's Canadian comedy. You know what I mean? Ends in tears all the time. You know what I mean? But a fist punch in the face. Take it easy. Okay. Irish tears. No, there were no Irish people in that fight, babe.
gypsy tears.
Gypsy tears.
For sure.
Wow, we're killing it tonight. It was a fucking ethnic situation here. Gypsy tears, Irish tears. What the fuck? What about I'm Italian tears? You know what I mean? And we cried. Would you say a wop? Oh my God, it's pretty racist, but
It's Ireland, all right?
what do you mean? Yeah, wop. Yeah, we love that one. I love wop. Come on. And what are you? I'm a fucking wop. I'm without papers. Take it easy. Fresh off the boat. Yeah, okay. I love people in the crowd. I like talking to people in the audience, but these guys, they're fucking doing their own show for sure. How long you guys been dating? Really?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Just 2, I mean, not just 2 years. It seems you guys just started dating. That's, yeah. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Anyways, let's move on, right? Let's fucking whip this bitch up. I was at a show and this comedian went on stage and she said she'd had sex with a flat earther, right? And she's like, do you think I'm gonna fuck that guy again? No fucking way, right? And I was like, we're so shallow as a species, you know what I mean? But then it made me think, I'm like, was the opposite true like 500 years ago after Columbus discovered America, right? He's back in Europe, fucking bitches, you know? And he's like, hey, baby, you wouldn't believe I discovered the earth is round. And she's like, get the fuck off me, you sick fuck, right? And then she's with her friend. She's like, you wouldn't believe the loser I fucked last night. He said the earth is round. Do you think I'm gonna fuck that guy again? No fucking way, right? You see how long it takes to change your mind? 500 years. Okay, great. Maybe I should just stick to riffing. Right? Did everybody see how the prime minister got pelted with gravel? Did you see that shit? Did you see? Oh my! I was like, seriously, Canada? This is all we got? We're just gonna throw sand at the man? That's it? I know gravel. I know it sounds like the fucking pill to go on the plane. Gravel. What is it? I know. I've been saying it weird. But I'm like, we need more confidence, you know? Like, I don't know, cement. Let's throw cement. Maybe that's a little too heavy. Bricks, or bullets. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I'm riffing. As long as this guy ends up upside down in the town square, splattered in tomatoes like Mussolini, I'll be happy. Okay? Anybody? I hate this fucking guy. I can't stand this fucking guy. I'm so mad at this piece of shit. Right? And then this loser on the day of the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, what does he go? He goes to Tofino, right? He goes surfing with. I know. Thanks. Yeah, I know. Thanks for the add-on. It's amazing. But then someone made a comment. They sent me a message. They were like, "That joke isn't funny because it's exciting assassination and violence." It's like, okay. And she's like, 33% of the population voted for him. I'm like, oh. What a hefty majority this guy got. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do? Suck his dick? Like, right? And she didn't hear me. I said, throw bullets, okay? I didn't say fucking shoot him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying somebody might not, but I didn't say that. You know what I mean? All right, take it is. Okay, wow. We're killing it. Take it is. Take it is. What the fuck else? Oh yeah, Maple Leaf Foods. They came up with a new sausage. It was a burger.
All or nothing.
Huh?
All the things.
Honest to God. What the fuck? Oh. Okay. Yeah. What are we gonna do? This is okay. I'll say. I'm gonna start over. Okay. Maple Leaf came out with a new hamburger. The ad said 50% meat, 50% plant-based. I know, I'm like, that's disgusting, right? That's like saying 50% dick, 50% dick pump, you know? I either want it all dick or all pump, you know? I'm a purist that way, okay? But you might be like, how come you know so much about dick pumps? I know. It was my Uncle Gino, okay? I had a fucking Uncle Gino, 80 years old, with a dick pump, okay? And this fucking loser would show up to Italian weddings, family weddings, and everybody would be like, hey, Gino, are you going to pump your dick? And I'm like, what kind of family is this? You know what I mean? Just bringing Circus Gino with his dick pump, you know, just pumping up, ready for the dance floor. Anyways, he died. We buried Gino. Dick pumping on, okay? R.I.P. to the G. All right. Are you guys warm? You guys feeling warm? Toasty?
Looking for a pump.
This guy's looking for a pump. You guys, I wonder what you guys must have some wicked fights. I just get that vibe. Do you fight a lot? Or when you fight, is it crazy? Yeah, I could just feel it. I could just feel it. Huh? You use the pump. Okay. You need a pump at your age? That's fine, bro. If you need a pump at your age, what are you going to do when you're 80? Gino, at least Gino fucking 80. This guy been fucking his whole life, and he's like, you know what I'm going to do at the end? Put a pump in. You know what I mean? I was going to see how this goes. But Gino, bro, Gino's been fucking, he's been doing it. What are you, 40, 35?
46.
46.
Yeah. Don't let the see hairline fool you.
No, you look great. You don't look 46. You look
I've been
great.
to Turkey.
You've been to Turkey?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Does that like
I've reclaimed land like the Dutch have.
okay? Okay, well, you know what? They talk different in they mean different things. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not understanding what's happening. I'm in the dark over here. Anybody else? You went to Turkey? Okay, wicked. I went to a Turkish restaurant. I got a couple of stories about a Turk. I went on Tinder for a week. Anybody else take a nosedive into a garbage dump? Is that how you met him? Okay, well, maybe that starts to make sense. And it's the names of these things, like Tinder. Isn't that just like burning wood? Is that, you know? And like plenty of fish. Remember that shithole? Yeah, and that's That's like a consolation phrase when people break up. You're like, you know what? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Well, not all the fish in the sea are good fish. Okay, there's a lot of sick fish in the fucking sea, and there are plenty of fish. Okay. Anyways, I'm on Tinder and I match up with a guy named Ahmed. Okay, and he says that he asked me if we could FaceTime so we could check each other out, and I was like, oh seriously? Now I gotta talk to this fucking guy, right? But I was high, and I'm like, Sandra, just do it. Just break through your fears, right? So just before he calls me, he sends me a message, and he's like, what are your measurements? And I'm like, what? I know. And I'm like, what are you making me a dress? You know what I mean? What a weird fucking question, right? So then FaceTime lights up, I answer, and this guy's like, oh, nice. 5'6", huh? What's that in centimeters?
Oh my god.
And I'm like, what? I have to do conversion too? And what do you need all these numbers for? Like, what are you building me a coffin? That's so fucking weird, right? So then he's like, you know what? He goes, how about next week you come up to Ajax? I cook you nice Turkish meal. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna come to Ajax for the first time. Of course you would drive up for the first time not knowing this fucking guy. I'm not gonna do that. I was like, are you kidding? I'm gonna go up there, I've never met you. And he's like, why not? It's gonna be so much fun. Cha cha cha, right?
Cha-cha-cha.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard it, yes.
Yeah, the cha cha cha. Yeah. Wow. It's like being on the water, your sailboat, and the sail just keeps fucking coming down. And like, are we ever gonna get to fucking the new world? You know what I mean? Columbus, can you keep these sails up? I'm trying, bro. This bitch keeps fucking knocking the sails off of my fucking boat, and I'm never gonna get the spices I'm supposed to get. There's a lot of fucking spludge on here. Oh yeah, it's nice and it's a lot of coke. No big deal. A lot of coke. Not coke. There's no coke. No, there's no coke right now. Yeah, 100%. 0% coke. Where were we in my joke? I don't remember. Cha cha cha, right? Oh my god! Come up to my house, cha cha cha, right? And I'm like, I could imagine I drive up to Ajax, I eat this beautiful Turkish meal laced in poison, right? And then I fucking die, I'm full at the mouth, and this guy dresses me in the dress he made me, right? Puts me in the coffin he built me, and then fucking shoves me in his basement in Ajax, right? And people be like, hey, what happened to Sandra? Oh, she's just haunting a house in Ajax. You know what I mean? Cha cha cha. You know what? There's nothing better for a comedian when somebody else, right after your punches it up. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe punches it down, it's a punch. Anyways, I feel beaten up here, okay? Like it is. Are you guys sisters? No, mother-daughter, was it? No, wait, who's the mother? Get out of here. When did you have her? How old are you? I love that. I don't know, 1920? I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? I had my period, no big deal. You know what I mean? I was able to cha-cha-cha, having the baby, so nice. I don't mean to make fun of your accent. I'm Italian, so we speak the same way. I love that. I don't know, 19. That's my favorite. How old is she? I don't know, 35, 30? 33. So I don't mean 35. I know. No, you don't look 30. What the fuck does it matter? You look great. Honest to God, God. It's all good. This is quite the stand-up here tonight. This is how I wanted to start my Saturday night. Just fucking killing it with. What's your name, anyways? You, both of you. Lee and you.
Jessica.
Lee and Jessica. Okay, perfect. I can see them on their marriage card. Lee and Jessica forever, maybe. You know what I mean? We don't know. I like that. Lee and Jessica forever. We don't know. You know? Jessica Lee?
Dot.
I love her. I wish she would be the MC. Everybody, Jessica Lee. Let's get it going for Jessica and Lee. You know what I mean? I love that. That's so.
We applied for a residency.
Everybody wanted to know. Everybody's just dying to know what your status is in this country. She's still talking. She's hear this. So what did immigration said? You applied for what status? For him. Oh, okay. Well,
good. It's exciting. Anyway.
It's great. It's really good. Sometimes you go to the audience and you lose. It's a big loss over here. Everybody's like, "What's their fucking status?"
I knew it.
Now we know. I mean, if anybody here was gonna be like, "You know what I'm gonna do Monday morning? I'm gonna call fucking immigration," and I'd be like, "Hey, you tell me what the status is with Leah and Jessica, okay? Telling me what they're doing. I'm into it. Okay, good. Love it. Okay." I came up with a knockoff for Sick Kids Hospital. Anybody want to hear?
Yeah.
Sicker kids. Okay? This is where you know what door to go in. You know what I mean? Sick kids, you're like, hey, if you say a prayer, a couple of them will survive. Sicker kids, you're like, I don't know, fingers crossed, right? And then I've got another knockoff, sickest kids, okay? Those are the ones, they're terminally ill, but they got the sickest gadgets, like iPhone, Nintendo, whatever the fuck they want. You know what I mean? Okay, that was a cool one. That was cool. We cooled it. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, if I had to grade this set, I wouldn't know what grade to give it. I give it common law. I give it a common. I give it common law. Patrick, you're gonna kill him.
A lot of uncertainty.
What else is I want to talk about? Oh yeah, and then I met a real human person. So I'm on the phone. We're having phone sex talk. What do you call that? Phone sex? What am I, 95? Yes, I'm 95. So anyways, we're talking, it's hot, and at minute 40 he tells me he was naked. And I was like, I would have liked to know that earlier. I would have taken my socks off. You know what I mean? Get into the cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, right? So he goes, but it's not what you think. I'm hot. I just, worked all day. I need to take a shower. And I was like, take a cold shower. It's really good for your blood. And he goes, listen, he's like, I have a size 7 foot. He's like, you know what that would do to me? And I was like, really? And he's like, but don't worry. He's like, I'm Italian. I have a big dick. And because I like to relate, I'm like, I'm Italian too, and I have a big vagina, right? I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you what my mama gave me. She's got a big puss. I got a big puss. You know what I mean? There's like 2 kinds of puss, innies and outies, okay? I got an Audi, German engineer. You know what I mean? I'm sure Jessica has an innie. I don't feel like you got a big puss. I could tell. He's a big, what is it, bro? I can spot it. I'm a puss whisperer. I never see it in the face. You know what I mean? I feel like we got some big puss energy over here. I love the woman in the back. She's like, it's true. I could just see it in the face. Right? You got big, you know what I mean? And a little, anyways. This is my life. I'm not, but it's like, chicks can't like start with that in a conversation on a date. Hey, bro, you know what? I got a big puss. You got what it takes to fill it up? You know what I mean? Like, why do you need to tell me your credentials right off the top? I got a big dick. Oh. I know, not the first. That's the first question you asked? You got a big dick? Yeah, I can spot that shit, just like I can spot a puss. I can spot the size of your shuggalong. You know what I mean? Shuggalong? This guy's like, what the fuck? Were you like, what the fuck is that? Don't worry about it. We're good. We're good. I don't know why I'm not high. Why did I come here sober like a loser? This would have been a different situation. But I really am having such a great time. Is that a light? Oh no, that's Lars getting high. All right, I love it. Lars, honest to God, this guy's the fucking best. Honestly. Yeah, keep it going for Lars Mars. What else can I talk about before I get the hot fuck out of here? I was like, what's that? It looks so gross. It looked like white semenage. It's Italian for semen. So stupid. I live in this neighborhood. Does anybody live in Leslieville?
Yes.
You do? Okay, so sort of. I used to live in the distillery. And I mean, I like this neighborhood. It's quaint, but there's like too many kids, too many children, the fucking parents. You know what I mean? I'm like, I get it. You know how to procreate. Like, congratulations. And I see a lot of parenting styles. Like, I saw this mother one day, and she's walking her kid, and she's walking really fast, and she's really pissed off. And she says to her little guy, she's like, you didn't do your best today. And he's like, but why, mommy? She's like, you just didn't do your best. And I'm like, take it easy, lady. Because by the looks of your kid, you didn't do your best either. She started it, all right? And then there's this other little fuck in my neighborhood, Grayson, okay? First of all, who names the kid Grayson? Like, he comes out of the womb, and the father's like, oh, you're Gray, son, right? Anyways, this little shit, he's on Queen Street one day, scooting around on his scooter, gawking like a crow, like, right? And all his mom says to him is like, Grayson, you shouldn't do that. And I was like, oh, all my dad had to do was adjust his belt. I'd be like, Pops, it's cool. It's me, Sandra. I'm not a crow, you know? Let's high five. Italian fathers do not high five, okay? They're not fucking into that shit. And you know what I think will like lay out the playing field, with these little fucks? It's too much entitlement. I believe if they go back to work at a factory one day a week, okay? Now, hear me out. You know what I mean? Good working conditions, okay? Good ventilation, right? Big windows, snacks, whatever the fuck they need. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because think about it. When they come home at the end of the day, they're too exhausted, and then they're going to just eat and fall asleep, and you're like, oh my God, thank God I don't have to listen to his bullshit tonight. You ever hear a kid go on? Oh my God, it makes no sense. Anyways, so this is the neighborhood. And then they opened a Botox clinic a couple years back. I don't know if you saw this. And I was like, who is this for? For like the babies? Like, I want to be 9 months forever. You know what I mean? So they have like a sandwich board outside of their clinic with all their services. Like, first one is Botox, OBS, right? Second is microneedling, I guess if you want to make your face into a quilt, right? And then the third was vampire facial. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I know what it is now, but like at the time, I got it? No, I didn't go get it, man. No, I didn't get it. But it's like, I know it's like they take blood out of one part of your body and then inject it into your face. I don't know. But at the time, I just imagined that it's when a vampire comes and like bites your neck, sucks your blood, and then spits it on your face like a vampire bukkake. Hey, buddy? Hey, Arlie? You like a little bukkake? I had to describe what a bukkake was to a group of middle-aged Italian women at a show one night. I mean, how do you do that and they still respect you, I'm like, ladies, it's when a bunch of bodies are in a circle, joking around in the woods. You know how guys are always in the woods, jacking off, murdering people, right? And there's a woman in the middle. We don't know, a forest maiden wandering through, right? And then yappa dabba doo, they drop their load on her tits, right? And these women are like, oh my God, who raised you, right? But I just want to say this before I go. I just want to do a little public service. This idea of a load, when guys are like, oh man, you should see me. I fucked this chick last night. I dropped my load on her face. Like, relax, okay? It's not a load, Like, you can do a load of laundry, right? Or a load of dishes, okay? But I've never seen a river of Simonach, right? I've never seen a river of Simonach flow from my bed. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's a Diva Cups worth, right?
Yes.
You don't see chicks walking around with their Diva Cups being like, hey, you should see this load of blood I'm walking around with. I'll throw it on your face if you're good. Okay, it wasn't a big pop, but that was my time. Yeah, guys, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. Keep it going for Lars and everybody else who's on the show tonight.
Sandra Battaglini, everyone. Yes. Hot start. I do gotta tell you something about Sandra. I don't know if she's okay with me saying this, but she's becoming a bit of a diva. When she signed her contract here tonight, she was like, I'll do the alley show, but only if my comedy duo Jessica is able to be here and yell stuff out. And then she also said, I'll do it if Jessica's here to do the cha-cha-cha bit, but I also will only perform directly under the moon.
Yes!
You fucking deliver. You fucking deliver. You're like, you want the moon? You want Jessica? You want the moon? We will fucking deliver, guys. I should just say, and this is 100% my fault as a host, I love talking to you guys and interacting. I'll do it all night long. Sometimes the comedians have spent hours and hours and years of their life delicately crafting words to put together in an order, and sometimes Jessica wasn't involved in it at home where they're like, I'm going to say this, and then Jessica's going to yell out, perfect, and they're just writing it. It's the perfect writing. So that's on me. But usually the general rule is like, if we ask you something, then say something. Other than that, laugh and have fun. But even as I'm doing that, I'm like, I feel like a school teacher scolding people. I know you're in hell and you're like, we can do whatever the fuck we want. It's amazing.
First timers.
First timers, of course. Yeah. And nobody expects a drunken Irishman to behave in an alley. That was on us. That was on us. Guys, you ready for the second act of the night?
Yes.
All right, this guy's done JFL 42. He's done Zoo Fest. You've heard him on Sirius XM. He's one of the funniest in the country. Give it up for Patrick Hakeem.
Like that. Nice awkward wipe on the way up here. What the fuck, man? To be honest, I've been watching the show. I watched Sandra do her set. Sandra, I'm fucking tired just from watching you. The way you hooped around people interrupting your jokes, I was like, Sandra's so impressive right now. You're like a lion tamer. You got a chair in one hand, a fucking whip in another hand. You're leaning, everybody's talking. And the poor people that paid just to pay attention, they're fucked. They got fucked hard. You're the mom. Okay, you're the mom? You dress super young, okay? You know this, right? And my mom, when you see her next to me, like, that's Patrick's mother, because she has a big hunch like this. My mom, very strong hunch. Got a lot of couples in here. Other than that, how are you? I'm good, buddy. I gotta be honest. I'm very happy to not be around my wife right now. Obviously, you guys know I'm a comedian, so you know I live in a one-bedroom apartment for sure in Toronto. And you gotta understand that's like 700 square feet, and we spent before these 3.5 months, we spent 8 months of lockdown together. And I always entered lockdown with my wife, man and wife. But by like the third, fourth week, we were cellmates. Like literally, I'd be in my shower, thinking, taking a bar of soap, making a shiv, because I was gonna murder my wife because all her tastes in fucking music, hot garbage. Just everything she listens to, I want it off immediately. You gotta understand, I'm half Latino, half Middle Eastern, which, if you're wondering, too much rage and passion for one fucking person. Okay? And I like, our people, we like music with rhythm. My wife, she's from Etobicoke, fuck that shit. My wife listens to heavy death metal and heavy punk. Like, one person's excited. It all sounds like, every song she sounds like when the guy was laying down the track in the studio, he was being skin fucking alive. Because it's all like, okay? And as a biracial man, I gotta tell you, punk music, there's nothing more I want to hear than a white guy complaining about the fucking system through a little jingle. You know what I mean? Oh, my dad didn't buy me an amp. My mom won't give me tickets to the concert. Oh yeah? Have any of you had to explain your father why everybody at work is calling him a desert monkey? Oh, was that too real? Did that make you uncomfortable? Because those were freaking real biracial fucking problems. I talk like this because I came from Montreal and I grew up in an all Italian neighborhood in Montreal. You're from Montreal? What? You both of you? What part of Montreal? Okay, bro. Get the fuck out of here. It's like when you go in New York, you're like, yo, I'm from New York. You're like, yo, we're from New York. You're like, where are you from? Jersey City. You're like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Near La Chapelle Bridge or near like the other side? Where are you from? You're Moroccan? There's a big Moroccan population in Montreal. I remember guys like Jerome used to come up to me and be like, hello, mon fils, comment ça va? They always, in Moroccan guys from Montreal call you fils. It means son, but the way they say it, you're like, bro, I'm not going to suck your dick. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? And you're from Laval. Are you Italian?
No.
Where are you from? What are you? You're Spanish Moroccan. Fucking amazing. We have a lot in common, bro. We're here because the Spaniards raped our people. We all have that in common. And then, if you think about it, we all got to be grateful for rape because we wouldn't be here without it. You know what I'm saying? Like if the Spaniards hadn't fucked the Mayans and raped them, I wouldn't exist as I am. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I think about that. Very unpopular to say right now and open, especially in this. I could be canceled. We're filming this right now. What do they got? 2, 3 viewers? Who knows what the fuck they're gonna say? It could happen. But enough about that. Let me get back to my jokes. Look, something you guys don't know about me. Obviously, I'm a comedian. Obviously, I've had a lot of odd jobs. One of them has been script writing pornography for Brazzers.com. Yeah. The company's from Montreal. They do post-production and pre-production there. And I always hated at parties when people used to ask me, like, bro, what do you do? I hated saying that I was a script writer for porn because people used to start making fun of me at parties. They'd be like, oh, bro, what do you write? You write like, you write, you write, and I'm like, no. I don't fucking write sex noises. I write the fucking dialogue before they fuck. What are you, an animal? Like, and I gotta be honest with you, like when I had that job, it was a great corporate job. It started like at $40K, which in Montreal is a big deal. Full benefits. It's so corporate. They had like continental breakfast Monday to Thursday. Friday, a little omelet chef comes in, does little omelets. And then once a month, because we're in Montreal, bagel day, like St. Viateur bagels. And I'll be honest with you, I hated that job. I went from, because you got to think about it. We all love pornography. Everybody here in this room has had a relationship with pornography. Maybe don't say it in front of your daughter. It's very weird. But we all have it. Okay? And the thing is that you get excited. You start writing porn. You have amazing ideas. But the first 40, 50, in a year and a half, I wrote 180 scenes. Do you know how shit your ideas are at 74? And we had a script supervisor who was like super serious. He was like way too into it. Like as a script supervisor, you start to like pitch in your ideas monthly, and your ideas had to be different. Like Brazzers is the website, but they all have like subsections. Like one is teens like it big, and another one is MILFs like it big. And you think they're the same, but they're not. Teens like it big. The girl's kind of innocent. She has never seen a penis. Guy's throbbing. She looks at it. He's like, oh, you see that? That's for you. And he fucks her. And he teaches her what big cock is about. But MILFs like it big. Whole different story, okay? MILFs like it big is an innocent boy, and some cock-hungry 40-year-old woman is like, give me this big cock. And he's like, oh my God, I've never had head like this. That's the difference. And you have to come and pitch ideas all the time. And since it was a corporate building, they had marketing, they had fucking, sales, they had it all around us. And the conference room to pitch in was a rectangular room that was in the middle of the office that was all glass. So literally, everybody would see you pitching your ideas in the office, and I'm like a very animated guy. I'm like, yeah, let's pitch one cop. She starts shaking it, and then as you're doing it, you'd see that hot girl that pass by and be like. They hated us. They treated us like someone, like the writers are there. Don't touch him. Okay? So after a while, the guy, and I hated the guy who was the script supervisor, because every time you would pitch him an idea, he'd sit back and he would do this thing with his hand, like he's imagining the pornography happening. And he was like a weird guy. Like one day he gave me a disc and he goes, this is stuff you really have to look for online. You should check it out. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna fucking check it out. I'm just doing this 9 to 5. And my favorite part is one day this guy got mad at me because my scripts became redundant. Okay? I would always end my scripts with, he came on her face and tits. The end. Right? This is a classic. Sometimes it's the face, sometimes it's just the tits. Not me. Both. I'm a Picasso. You know what I mean? But one day this guy, I was just ending them all like that, and he goes, Patrick, can you come here for a minute? He goes, why are you ending all your scripts on her face and tits? In my mind, I'm like, dude, we're fucking writing pornography. No one gives a fuck about the story. Half the people don't even make it to the point where the guy jizzes. For fuck's sakes, you're making me hate my fucking job. I don't even jerk off to my work because of you. But I didn't say that because at the time I needed the money. But here, I kept that. So he goes, listen, he goes, I want you to go back and I want you to just rewrite this and make it creative. Anybody here ever had an office job? You're sitting at your cubicle and you start amping yourself up. You're like, I fucking hate this job. I hate the fucking manager. I hate my fucking girlfriend. She wants me to fucking buy a condo with her. Fuck her. I'm gonna fucking leave her. Like you just start like amping your whole life. My fucking friend Steve never has cigarettes. I always have to get my fucking cigarette every fucking day. Buy a fucking pack. You're 22 years old. For fuck's sakes. So I'm pumping myself up and I go, I'm gonna write an ending that for sure this guy has to fire me. So I write, the man takes a balloon and comes inside the balloon. Then he blows it up and he goes, I have a surprise for you, and pops it and jizz flies everywhere on both of them. Not just her, it's a double jizz. He's getting jizz, she's getting jizz, there's jizz like in between his toes, everywhere. And I'm like, for sure. And I see him reading it, and this guy's like a psychopath. He's going like this in front of the computer screen. I'm like, oh, wait, what's wrong with this guy? And he goes, I just hear Patrick and all the other writers, I need you to come to my desk. And I'm like, I'm going to get fired in front of everybody. Good. Because Montreal's such a fucked up city that if you get fired, they give you unemployment. Not like in Toronto, if you get fired, they're like, you're not getting unemployment. Yeah. No, yeah. If you quit in Montreal, you don't get it. But if you get fired, they're like, here's money. Right. I could be wrong. I gotta be honest with you. If you haven't been able to tell, I never graduated from high school. Like, I'm just straight up. Like, I got the job by giving a Tom Green article that I wrote in a bi-monthly magazine for graffiti. Very long story. I used to hang out with a lot of hip hop guys in Montreal, but I was not the hip hop guy. But sometimes we used to get high and go to a hip hop store, and I used to wear do-rags to make everybody laugh. You know what I mean? You ever fucking put on a do-rag? Your friend Martin, he's wearing like an Nietzsche suit. He's wearing a baggy suit. He looks for you, and all of a sudden you're wearing a yellow do-rag. The laughter is out of control. I gotta tell you, you will never laugh. If you have black friends, put on a yellow do-rag, they'll fucking appreciate it. I fucking promise you. So he brings me to his desk, and he goes, guys, he reads it out to everybody. Everybody's like, and then this fucking guy starts slow clapping. And he grabs me and he whispers in my ear. He goes, that's why I push you. And then he goes to the other side. He goes, you watch the disc. That's a new joke and needs a lot of work. There's too much this and not enough this. You know what I mean? Like, as a comedian, I've been doing it for 11 years, and I know when something needs work. And I gotta be honest with you, I feel comfortable working right now. You guys ever have a friend that's so positive it makes you sick? Like, every time you can't complain in front of them because they'll just be like, well, you don't know how they are. Maybe that's what makes them happy. You're like, why can't I fucking shit on somebody right now? Why is it that and then when they shit on people, you gotta be all fucking your friendships there. Oh yeah, tell me why you didn't get into JFL. Oh yeah, really? She only got in because she's wearing a hijab? Okay, that's racist, but sure, tell me more. Buddy, seriously, like, there's being positive and then there's being realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, who here thinks they're a positive person? You think you're positive, you think you're positive. I mean, you're pretty white women. Like, it's gonna be positive for you. You know what I mean? Be an overweight, fucking birate. No, but you know what? You're like me. I'm not white, but I can fucking pass, bro. You know what I'm saying? When the cops come, I'm like, I don't know. It was all these Latino guys. See you later. Okay? I know how to fucking move and weave. You think I don't get out of party? You think it's officer right here? Really? I was going 60. Oh, and he's like, your lamb, are you gonna have it with butter? No, butter, disgusting. Why would I want flavor? I've had it with mint sauce. See you later. No ticket. So you're from Morocco, moved here. You're African. Okay, well, you don't have to get all fucking. You're like, I'm African. Relax. You know what? South Africans are African, and there's a lot of Africans that are not happy with them. You know what I'm saying? If anything, and I know a lot about South Africa because I have seen Lethal Weapon 2 many times, and I know that they're evil people in South Africa, but not Mel Gibson's girl that he fucks in the movie. She likes black people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of ladies here. You know what? I'm starting a joke that, if I'm going to be honest with you, because when you look at me, I feel you look at my heart. I don't even want to fucking do it. Because as a comedian, you got to understand is we do jokes, we do them all the time, there's repetition, and then you do jokes that people laugh, but you want to kill yourself while you're fucking telling the joke. And I'm sick of everything. Because literally, you got to understand is we've only been out of lockdown for 3.5 months. Seriously? And I was at home for 8 months, not doing comedy, questioning who I am, questioning if I'll ever be good again, questioning what's going on, questioning if I can fucking run my business. And then I had to come here and be like, my wife, she's fucking crazy. I don't give a shit anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'll tell you something though. During lockdown, I fucking finally admitted to my wife that I fucking hate watching television and movies with her because she fucking sucks. Every 2 seconds, she's got a question. She's like, what's happening? I'm like, we're 3 minutes into the fucking movie. Let the fucking plot unfold. I don't know what's happening. Stop fucking talking. And then her other thing is my wife likes to start doing fucking exercise in the middle of a movie. She'll start rolling out a mat, and she's not stretching. She's like literally going like this and hitting her ass on the fucking couch, and you're wobbling, and you're like, this is the climax of the movie. How are you you're fucking up my peripheral vision, and then the movie ends, and she's like, yeah, I really didn't understand what happened there. I'm like, maybe you should have done 60 jumping jacks in the fucking end. What the fuck's wrong with you? I married an Asian woman. Shit at math. It sucks. Like I'm in charge of our budget, and I can't even tell you. I never passed grade 10 history. Here, I don't know. Like in Montreal, grade 10, sec 4, you have to pass Canadian history, right? Was that a prerequisite here?
Yeah.
Every year, I'm like, I just want to smoke weed in back in the school. I used to smoke like a lot of weed all the time to the point where like I used to do impressions for everybody. Like I used to do an impression of Macho Man Randy Savage as my stepfather telling my mom what to do. And it was killer. It'd be like, my mom's name is Anna Lucia, and I'd go like, Anna Lucia, I need you to, and I used to do it amazing. But then I stopped doing it because my buddies would always ask me to do it at parties. And from the ages of 15 to 22, I realized that this impression was helping me not get laid. Like seriously, like what girl here wants to go out with a guy that killed doing the Macho Man impression of Macho Man being married to his mother, ordering her around to do plates? Any of you want to marry that? Who said yes? You? Jess? Jess, so you guys met on Tinder. He lives at your house now? He never left. This guy's fucking smart. This guy pays for rent with his dick, bro. I started dating my wife. I never left either, but because I lived in a house with 4 dudes, and we had no AC, and she had an AC unit, and I was like, I'll never leave it. I used to live in a house with other comedians, You think it's funny? Everybody's depressed at the house. I lived in a room with a fucking skylight, no fucking ventilation. Every morning, I'd wake up to the fucking sun baking me. And I got fatter during lockdown because all I did was eat pizza and be depressed. But I don't want you to think I'm disgusting. I was getting like nice, fucking well-made pizza, fresh products. Oh, is this 12-inch pie $30? You fucking bet it is. And like we lived in that house, and one day I used to live in a house with my buddy Dave, and we used to always we were all Mediterranean guys, so we used to scream for no reason. Like sometimes I wouldn't be able to find my charger because I misplaced it while I was drunk, and it was like 8 a.m. But I would just start screaming, "Who the fuck took my fucking charger? You guys want to fucking move around my shit?" And I knew that they didn't touch it, but I got pleasure out of screaming at everybody at 7 a.m. for the charger. We had one white roommate, Dan Bingham, and he was always like, and I like Irish people because there's a big Irish population in Montreal. And the Irish in Montreal, they're not like your regular white people. They're fucked, okay, bro? Because I gotta tell you, I know a lot of guys named Mickey and Mikey, and they're always like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about nothing. They have an accent. I love those guys. But one day, it was World Cup 2018. No, it was before that. 2016? Yeah, you're right. Euro. I get mixed up sometimes. We live in a fucking pandemic. So 2016 World Cup. And I used to like watching the World Cup at a very, very, very loud volume. I watch every game. It's every 4 years. I'm gonna fucking watch it. My buddy Dave, big into battle rapping, and I have the TV loud, and one day he screams from the kitchen. The house was leveled. It had like rooms up here, a kitchen over here, right over here, the living room was like boxes leveled. And he screams from the kitchen that's here, and I'm over here in the living room, and he goes, "Hey man, why don't you turn down your fucking pussy game, soccer pussy game?" And I go, "What the fuck did you say to me, bro? Why don't you fucking say that to my face?" And he goes, "If you come up here, you fat piece of shit, I'll tell you to your face." So I'm playing along, and I'm like, "All right, buddy, you want fuck? I'll fucking come up there." And I start climbing up the stairs, and he goes, "By the time you get up here, you're gonna be out of breath." And I'm like, "Okay, this guy's being a fucking piece of shit." So my friend Dave looks at me, and my friend Dave is not a fighter. He starts hissing like a cat and going like this. So we start going at it, but we're having fun. But he put me in what I'd like to call a disrespectful headlock. So a disrespectful headlock is if you have somebody in a headlock and squeeze their temples together, it feels like you're gonna barf because it hurts like that. So I decide to pick him up and turn him around, and we go through the kitchen window. But we're on the second floor, and he goes through it. There's glass shattering on us, and I'm just holding him like this. And now it's not funny anymore. And I just pull him out. This guy, not a fucking mark on him. My wrist went like this, just fucking squirting blood everywhere. I start freaking out. Our friend Pat, very smart, he goes, "You guys have to go to the hospital, Dave, take him." We go to the hospital. We get there, they see us immediately because it's like literally coming out. Every time I'm coming out, it's like leaking a lot. And this Jamaican nurse separates us. And she goes, "I'd like to talk to you." And I go, "Okay." And she goes, "Sit down." She goes, "Can I ask you some questions?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "What?" She goes, "Who is that man?" I go, "That's my buddy Dave." And she's like, "And who is he to you?" I'm like, "He's my friend." And she's like, "Just your friend?" And I start realizing that she thinks we're in a relationship and he must have physically abused me. And I go, "No, man, I'm not gay. You think I'd be with Dave if I was fucking gay?" And she's like, I don't know your life." And she says that, and she goes, "Well, what happened?" And I go, we started wrestling, and then I put him through the window. And she goes, "The boys were play fighting?" And I go, yeah. And she goes, y'all have no job, eh? I don't even know where to go from here. Do you guys live in this neighborhood? Yeah, you do? You? Where? City place? That's good. You like it there? Too much condo, right? I get what you're saying. And you guys, where you guys live here? So you guys are visiting. I gotta ask you, from Montreal, how the fuck does this happen? How do you come to this alley? You're like how you were just walking on the street, you're like, let's go fucking see this alley thing.
Yes, yes, exactly.
That's amazing to me. I'm not saying you're at the wrong place, but I thought like you guys were regulars.
We live here, we used to do the same thing. We were just going to the bar and so it's like,
I gotta tell you something. I like you, but when you talk, you don't add anything. You know what I mean? Like, I just gotta be honest with you. You're just talking, and it's like you're delaying what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm the guy with the mic. I'm a professional. I'm the guy that has 11 years under my fucking belt. I'm the guy that literally I'm losing.
What?
There's a belt here. It's a belt of life. But it's not a literal belt. It's a figurative belt. Anyways. Yeah. Okay. You're making me not want to go home to my wife. That's pretty much it. Can you talk? But she's better. You know what I mean? She makes smoothies. She does. She makes. I don't know why everybody's like, oh, she makes the best smoothies. She puts banana. She puts ice in it, and she goes like this. A little bit of tit. You know what I mean? She just dunks her tit in it, and I'm like, that's how you make a sweet, y'all. Okay. I feel like I should end on a joke, but I not that I'm defeated. I'm enjoying how awkward I'm making this. Sometimes you bomb and you want to kill yourself, and then sometimes you bomb and you're like, I could stew in this forever. So we're gonna end this like this, and I just want you to remember that we're all human beings. Okay, you hear that? You want to say something? You raise your hand like you wanted to say something. We're all human beings, and I just want to let you all know that I thank you for being here and being an audience tonight. I don't know what I can use, or if I can use anything in my future endeavors in comedy from tonight, but I'm happy just to be in your presence. This table too, because you're from Montreal. And my boy Lee.
Yes, sir, good.
Everybody, I know Jessica, you were good, but at the end, you fucking piped in. Jess, you put a little salt, you put a little bit of pepper. We don't need the seasoning. I thank you so much for being here. Please give it up for Mr. Lars. Oh man, hold on. I can't hug you because I'm an anti-hugger. I'm an anti-hugger. Remember, guys, put that yellow do-rag for your black friends.
Patrick, Hakeem, lighting up the alley. You guys are all right? That was fucking intense. I have a question. Should we turn up the volume a little bit? You guys were able to hear him, right? You guys are okay? You have blood coming out of your ears right now. You're like, it's weird to see someone with a huge smile on their face. You're like, my face is hurting from smiling, and my ears are bleeding at the same time. That's a weird feeling. You ever felt that before? Little pain, little pleasure. God, I love this. I fucking love this. That was intense. There was a lot happening there. Yes. Are you out, Jess? Give it up for Jess and Lee, everyone. They gotta take off. Great to see you guys. Come again. Follow the arrows on the floor. Oh wait, yeah, we'll do it. Everyone, say goodbye. We'll see you next week. One more time for Jessica and Lee, all the way from the neighborhood. Yes. Wow. All right. I want to let you guys know something about me. I'm a dual citizen, born in Canada, but my mother was born in New York City. And one of my favorite things, I like just bringing people together. I like taking a weird group of strange people and bringing them together And that's why I do this stuff in the alley. So thank you guys for being a part of that. But I also want to let you know that I believe we need new leadership in the world. So you guys vote in the most recent election? Yeah. But did you feel like most people were just voting for like the least of the shitty, like the least shitty? You're like, I'm not voting for you because I fucking believe everything you're saying and I know you're going to do everything you say and you're the best for everyone. And I'm just voting for you because you're the least shitty of my choices on this list, right? Who feels like that? You guys feel like that? Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Maybe right now you're probably thinking like, yeah, Lars does a pretty good job in alley things, so I'm so far with them, right? You're like, I've never done a thing in an alley before, and so far Lars seems to be leading that pretty well. So I'm going to run. I'm not going to run for prime minister. I'm not going to run for president. I'm going to run for prime president of Canada, America. Canada, America, or if you're in the United States, if we have U.S. viewers, it's going to be Americanada. Yes, I love Americanada. I'm going to be the prime president of Americanada. Wherever you live, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it Canada America if you like that. You can call it Americanada. You can do that too if you like that. So, but I'm not going to run as a Democrat. I'm not going to run as a Republican. I'm not going to run as a Green Party. I'm not going to run as an NDP. Not going to run as a Liberal. Not going to run as a Conservative. Not going to run as a People's, whatever that racist one was, where they're like, no more immigrants. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote for that one. I'm not going to run for that one. I'm not going to run for the Communist Party. Who knew the Communist Party is still a thing? Is anyone ever surprised by that? And you're like, whoa, I kind of like, kudos to the Communist Party. Like, way to go. Like, maybe rebrand and call yourself something different by now. Like, it didn't work out for the farmers on the animal farm there. We all read that. It's like, we all read Animal Farm. We know this doesn't work. In theory, though, it's great. I'm not going to run for any of those things. I'm going to unveil my party. It's a new party. I'm going to run as an independent. I'm going to run for the pizza party. Yeah. Want to know my campaign? My platform is my whole fucking platform right here. Free pizza for everybody. Yeah, what's the name of problem you have right now in your life? Gluten-free? Gluten is the problem right now? Free gluten-free pizza for these people, everybody. Yeah. Anyone have a real problem? Anyone else? So, you got a problem? What's your main problem in your life right now?
Not enough pizza.
Not enough pizza. Pizza party! And we go around. It's a real grassroots campaign. Like right now, I feel like you guys are on board. If the next election cycle comes around for Canada America or Americanada, and I'm on the list, and you remember who I am, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm going to vote for that guy. He said free pizza for everyone, right? Free pizza for, yeah, I can't argue with that. But it's going to be a real grassroots thing. So if you want to get on board, you can actually be one of my grassroots campaigners, and you can host your own pizza party. You host the pizza party in your favorite alley. If you got an alley near you, invite all your friends, family members, all the people you want at the pizza party, and then the pizza party will provide the free pizza for everyone. You're like, there's no end. Yeah, I've thought that's about as far as I've thought forward. Right now, it's just free pizza for everyone. I feel like that's a promise I can deliver on. And mostly when you hear what politicians say they're going to do, you know in the back of your head, you're like, this is all bullshit. How's he going to pay for that? How's he going to pay for all that pizza? And my answer, I'll tell you how I'm going to pay for all that pizza. That's the same thing that everyone else says. But if it comes down to the wire, if I don't feel like I'm going to win, if I don't think it's pizza party, Patrick, you're the best. One more time for Patrick right there. That was fucking brilliant. That was amazing. That was fire. What was I saying? It comes down to the wire. If I don't think free pizza is doing it for everyone, and I don't think I'm going to nail it, I'm going to, just the last minute, like 11th hour, one final campaign promise. You ready for this? I think this is going to seal the deal. Unlimited everything, always guaranteed, free, or you double your money back. What do you want? Unlimited everything, always free, guaranteed, or double your money back. When do you want it? Now. Who needs it? Everybody. You guys on board? I honestly think I can do this, and I think I've proven it just by how many times I've said things, and then after the thing I said, you guys went, woo! We can just do this. We'll just travel the country, and we'll just travel the country doing pizza parties, guys. We're on board. Let's get some pizza in here, please. We got to give it up. We got two more acts here for the show. They're fucking incredible. This guy, he produces a show at Comedy Bar called Opening Act. He produces a show called Tinder Tales, and he's here in the alley for the first time. So give him some alley love. Please give it up for Dan Rosen, everybody. Dan Rosen. Good to be here, everybody. Great for Lies. I'm totally on board with that pizza party. As you said, my name's Dan Rosen. It's the Jewish version of John Smith. Yeah, it's a very Jewish name. You'll see it all over Jewish Tinder. It's a real thing. It's called J Swipe. Yeah, I didn't think the Jews wanted to be swiped anymore, but hey, if you want to find a good husband. Yeah, it'd be like it's a very common name. If there was a Jewish detective show, it would show up all the time. They'd be like Officer Leibowitz, any ID on the Vic? No, just another Dan Rose. Not that there would be a Jewish detective show because everyone would confess within the first 10 minutes. Or like their moms would drink and be, you go tell the nice officer what you did to Maury Hirschberg's department store. I'm also, I was really excited Lee was here because I'm also Irish Jewish. I'm an Irish Jew, which is like rarer than a leprechaun. Which is basically an Irish Jew, like a short guy, big nose. Everyone assumes he's got a secret stash of gold somewhere. Like, I always wonder like what my ancestors did back in Ireland, like how they interacted, like these Irish Jews, like in their like farms outside of Dublin, being like, oh, what you have? Oh, I'm going to Paddy McHirschberg's Latka farm. Like, we're gonna build, yeah, like just a very odd mix of people. I'm also 145 pounds. I'm 5'10". It's very anemic chic. I've got no dieting tips or anything like that to keep this weight off. Just 25 years of incurable bowel disease just keeps those pounds off. You don't need any special diet when everything gives you chronic diarrhea. So I have this thing called Crohn's disease. It's the reason why everyone here had to get vaccinated. I've got the immune system of a used Kleenex, so like, thank you for those of you who did. It was weird. There was like someone who like I remember seeing protests like last summer where people would be like, and they had signs saying like, I have an immune system. I'm like, well, I don't. So it's like, but I have a personality. Maybe we can switch. It's funny because friends of mine will like they'll be very complimentary to like my like anemic view. Be like, oh hey Dan, like have you lost weight? I'm like, well, I did recently lose muscle mass. Or like I was like at my friend's place and we were swimming in his pool and he's like, hey, nice six pack. I'm like, oh, that's just the way my skin hangs off my intestines. It's just I don't think. But like, I mean, I'm fine like joking about it because like my mom has this very dark sense of humor growing up. Like we had this was like 2003, we were carpooling with our neighbors and he was like so sick, like swelling up his face and everything. And it was like right when there was that like anthrax scare and my mom's like, oh hey Benjamin, you haven't been opening any like unmarked packages with white powder in it, have you? And then like laughed in the face of this like scared little 17-year-old boy. And then she's like, oh, I'm just kidding, you have mono, you're fine. And then like when like Charlton Heston died, I was like, hey mom, did you read the news? She was like, oh yeah, was he shot? And like with like glee or whatever. And then this is probably the worst thing she did. When I was 16 and I was getting out of the hospital, I just had my first surgery because you never forget your first. And as she was like helping me to my car, I was like the same height, 25 pounds less than I am now. And she's like, Dan, you look like you just got released from a concentration camp. Which I know, like that's offensive. Now we say detention center. It's and like I know this is like it's like that shit or whatever, but like my mom also is a doctor, and she's a very good doctor. I think you can't be a very good doctor if you don't have that like dark, twisted sense of humor. Like if you go to your doctor and you've got like some horrible illness or whatever, and they like treat you, they find out all the things that they need to do to like cure you, then just know that like the moment you leave, they're making sick burns about your sick burns. It's just the way they can deal with all that shit. But look, there's more to me than just having Crohn's disease. I also have a wife. She's great. She's a really great person. She's wonderful. She's super supportive. Our first date, we were going for a walk in the woods, and she asked me about the last time I got sick. And so I told her about this anal abscess I had. Don't Google image search that. And so I gave her all the gory details and about how I had to have this butt surgery, not like the sexy kind of butt surgery. And then 5 minutes later, we made out for the first time. And I'm like, all right, I need to lock this woman down. I was like pricing engagement rings the next day. And a year later, then we actually did finally, we got engaged. And as we're getting ready for bed, she said, she like had this cheeky little smile and said, "You're welcome," and then pulled the cover over my head and then let out the worst fart I'd ever smelled. It was like one of those ones you can taste. Yeah, so you're saying like you gross, whatever, but I was like, oh my god, I love you so much. You're my favorite person in the whole world. You're the best. Because if your partner's hiding your farts from you, then like what else are they hiding? Am I right? Like some like insurance scam to pay the bill, some side piece action they're getting. Like, but if there's an open, like they're farting in front of you, then you know that they're ready for an open, honest relationship. Like my parents just had their 41st anniversary, and like they've been like letting them rip for 4 decades, and they've never been more in love. Like that's how I know that they're in it for the long haul. Now that's my TED talk on fighting for love. It's a very important thing. I think it's very romantic. Just so just like fight in front of each other, and like that's how you keep the romance alive. I think. It's what kept my wife and I through our lockdown. We survived it, and I know that she's also in it for long haul. Our apartment stinks, but like the last year we only considered divorce like 3 or 4 times. Like that's how I know like all right, we're in this, we're doing this. And I mentioned like we got engaged after a year. We went through things very quickly because when my wife like 3 weeks or so into our relationship, we had this thing that like she invited me to something that I thought was going to be a date, but turns out was actually a job interview for the prospective husband. I don't know if any women here have ever done that, where they like be like, oh, we'll go on like just a coffee date, relax, and then like they get out their notes and they're like taking note, like all right, like what are your long-term goals, your career aspirations, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And like I am terrible at having like holding jobs. That's why I'm a comedian. And like so I'm terrible at job interviews. I nailed this job interview though. That's what like I got it. I was like, Jewish, we're gonna celebrate that. We're gonna do like all these things. The only question I got wrong was how many kids do you want? I figured with the help of someone else, I could keep like maybe 1 tiny human alive. And she's like, no, you have to have 2. I'm like, okay. She's like, a boy and a girl. I'm like, well, how do we control that? A boy and a girl. So apparently, anyhow, that's what our plans are. But everything else I did well. And yeah, it's crazy because then, like, actually at the beginning of COVID, she started getting it was her turn to get really sick. At the beginning of COVID, she got this horrible thing that was like, a tapeworm inside of her that was this, I'm serious. Like, it was like making her nauseous all the time. It was sapping her nutrients. It was like, she was like in a horrible state. And then we went to the doctors and we're like, all right, we need to find out like what's going on. He's like, all right, we can get it removed in a few months, but it has to come out your vagina. And like, we're like, shit. I don't know if anyone else here has heard of this. The medical term for it is pregnancy. Usually, whenever I tell that, usually there's like a couple women who are like, oh, he's talking about pregnancy, and then the guys are all like, oh shit, a vagina tapeworm. Can we get that? We don't use a condom. It was great. We had she got pregnant. It's crazy though. Like the pregnancy is nuts because I was going through all her like symptoms on her Flow app of like that she was going through in pregnancy, and it was like all the worst symptoms of bowel disease, but like all at once. Like she had like an acute case of pregnancy. It was very serious. But the one thing that was so like during this whole time, like it really got me thinking a lot about abortion. Not because like I was like, oh, we need to get rid of it, but like for all that like she was going through, I was like, oh man, I could never like do this. Like if guys had to get pregnant, like abortions would be the cheapest thing everywhere. They'd be like $3 for $1 at Dollarama. Like Nestle would make some sort of like Nestle abortion bar. It'd be like, hey fellas, you've had like a hard night on the town, then you need to grab that NAD, Nestle abortion bar. And like they come free in a 2 for at New Year's Eve so that like dudes don't have to wear a condom. You just like, go out party and then just eat your Nestle abortion bar afterwards, and then case closed. Cause it's nuts what like my wife went through, and I had to do nothing. I just like sit around, get high, whatever, and then she's just like sitting there like expanding and expanding on our couch. It was nuts. The one thing that was great though is that once she got pregnant, is that we no longer had to answer this question where it's like, oh, are you guys trying? Like, are you trying? I don't know if anyone like has ever had that in a relationship where it's the most annoying question ever. Because like, what do you say to like, looking at Sheila, like I've been trying to fill your favorite girl up with as much cum as possible. Like, we've been raw dogging every night. I've been, getting out we've got out the fuzzy pink handcuffs. There's definitely some people here who like exist because maybe one day like one of their parents came home with too much leather on or something like that. Like it's always one of those things. But that's the way. If anyone ever asks you that, just like tell them, look, we're raw dogging as much as possible, and then that cuts that conversation off right away. Hot tip for the future, it was crazy. I will say, I was going to say, I didn't tell this earlier, but I was going to tell a story about, because I wasn't always marriage material. I mean, to be honest, I might still not be. But before, I used to be very much like trying, like aimless, not thinking I was ever going to get married. I once tried to have a hookup at an Orthodox Jewish wedding, which is very tough to do because the first hour and a half, the men are literally on the opposite side of the room as the women. So it's very tough. I'm glad that our people don't believe in hell because I definitely would have been sent there if I tried to go through this tonight. So yeah, basically like a friend of mine invited me to her wedding. And one thing that a lot of the Jewish people like to do is we always like to like hook each other up with people like, oh, you gotta meet my friend. She's a lawyer and so on. And I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm an unemployed Canadian. And so she tried to do, obviously that wasn't working. And so then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get drunk tonight or whatever. This is the last night in my life I ever got drunk. And you'll find out why. And so then, like, while I'm getting wasted at the bar, it turns out the maid of honors, one of her best friends, was also there, also getting drunk or whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I introduce myself, and then boom, the DJ puts on Careless Whisper. I'm like, sweet, the DJ wants me to fuck tonight. Great. And so we start dancing, and we get to know each other. And then afterwards, I was like, well, hey, like, can I call you a cab or whatever? I'm going this way. And she's like, oh, that's perfect. That's like just down the street from me. And I'm like, sweet, the universe wants me to fuck tonight. It's all lining up. I'm finally going to have a one-night stand. And so we're about to go. And then, like, her best friend then comes over like, hey, we're not fuck with my friend tonight. I'm like, oh, no, gentlemen. I'm just taking her. She's like, yeah, look, I know what you're doing. Just make sure she gets to work the next day. And so I'm like, okay, all right, make sure she gets to work next day. So we drunkenly like stumble out of the cab, get into her place, we start making out, and then after a while she like we both kind of like burp in each other's faces, and then she's like, all right, I don't think like I just need to like lie down. I can do that. Oh, so close. So she lies down and we lie down. We don't do anything, and then 5 minutes later she gets up and I hear her like go like and she's just like puking her guts out in the toilet in the bathroom, and I'm like, oh shit, like should I be a gentleman? Should I hold her hair? Should I, just like pretend like nothing's happening? I chose the option that required me doing nothing. So I was just like, all right, I hold off, kind of thing. And then I just like pretend to be asleep. But then 5 minutes later, I get up, and then I just start puking my guts out. And then I'm like, oh, like all right, like fuck, like this obviously is a waste. I live so close, I could just walk home. And then as I'm about to get out the door, I'm like, oh shit. Like her best friend said, like I need to make sure like she like gets to work tomorrow. Like, she's gonna like cut off my balls if I don't or something. I don't know. Like she was really serious and like violently serious. So then I'm just like waiting around. Like I can't sleep. Like I'm so sick. Like I have bowel disease, and so I'm just trying to like wander around. I'm watching the clock, seeing when it's time. So like at like 6:59, I'm like ironing her pantsuit so it's like ready for like her work day or whatever, and then I hand it to her, like just sort of like basically waking her up, handing her suit at the morning of,
And I'm like going home, walking home, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get to made anything or anything like that. But I'm like, that event taught me that I'm really glad I understand consent. Not like just because of like respecting women or whatever, that's important too. But like if I hadn't, like that would have been such a mess for both of us. Like we would have been like been such a disgusting mess. So like be like, understand consent because for the sake of respect and stuff like that. But also you might end up just puking over each other anyways if you're trying to like get those drunken hookups. So yeah, that's why I don't drink anymore. That's why I'm glad I got that one person I have sex with for the rest of my life, and I am fine. I'm like, sweet. I've locked it down. I've made it. Thanks. Yeah. I believe in monogamy, not for cheating, just because it's like, oh, I can't handle any more other people. Like, I can just have if I just have sex with one person I know what I'm getting every night, it's great. Yeah. But anyhow, so yeah, like we were trying to like the last little while, we were trying to get ready for our little pandemic baby. So we went to visit some babies, people who we knew were having babies. Like we didn't just like visit some random babies, but because I am so bad at like I'd never held a baby before. Like my wife got pregnant, and I'm like, oh, I need to practice because like you're supposed to support the neck, right? 'Cause if you don't, then the like head goes and it falls off and like rolls out the door. And then the nurse will pick it up and be like, thanks, I was on my way to the coroner's office anyways. Right? So like I needed to practice on someone else's kid because if it goes wrong then it's not so bad. It's not my own kid, right? So we did that, and then eventually we had our own so then like it came time, like we had to have our own like pregnancy heist it kind of is. I don't know if anyone knows anyone here who like had to like give birth during the pandemic, but it's very weird. Like so we go in, you like have to like go in, you're like stuck inside your like your hospital room, and you can't leave for 3 days. It's like we're in our own little like solitary like confinement for giving birth. And like my wife, they hook her up to like machines. They have this little like seismograph that shows how bad the like contractions are on like the Richter scale. So my wife like, ooh, I'm like, ooh, that was a 7.9. That's crazy. And it's nuts. But like even after like 20 hours of labor and like 9.5 months of pregnancy, like baby's still not coming out. I don't blame them. Like I was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't come out either. Like I was calling my mom, being like, any room in the room there? And so they had, so like they have to like get the doctor to come in and induce, where the gynecologist comes in and fingers your wife in front of you. It's a very weird, odd experience, but I did take notes. I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's like you're saying 2 fingers up to, right? And so we're doing that, and so eventually it works. But even then, our like child, for whatever reason, keeps like turning the other way, and so we like can't get out. So it has to be a C-section, which is crazy. Which at first I thought was really bad, but then I found out that like most people like. If you like most women, if you give birth, like if they're not cutting you here, then you're ripping like down there. It's crazy, like no matter what, like it's basically we like rip open our mother's bodies when we come through, and it's like a horrible, disgusting thing that happens, and it's also like the most beautiful, magical moment in the world. Like to have, it's a weird like pregnancy is a very weird thing for me, or the whole like birth process. But then so we go in. And we're in there, and then they like finally like they take out the baby. It's so weird because like for us this is like a scary new thing we've never done before, and for all the like, this medical stuff, it's like this is like the 15th one they've done. They were being like, oh, like blood pressure's dropping. Oh, can you please staunch the bleeding there? How was that Thai place you guys tried the other day? Is it worth it? After I thought we could go after that. And so then like finally they like pull out the baby and they. Like do a little like symbol hold up so I can see the penis dangling and be like, boy. And then finally, eventually, like I get to like do the one thing that like I get to do as a dad, since choosing in my wife, is then like they do the like cut the umbilical cord where I'm like, yes, like this baby is open. Like, like it's like the like open season kind of thing. And then and I'm so excited. And then they find out like they're like, oh well, we actually already cut it off, but just for symbolic sake, you have a little, like, as in, like, there, Dad. Here's a little thing you can do to feel special. You can cut the umbilical cord. What they don't tell you is that there's still, like, a little bit of, like, blood in there. So you, like, cut it, and then it goes, like, it's like a Pizza Pocket commercial where it's just, like, and, like, wiping, like, placenta, like, dripping from my eye, and then, like, I'm like, and then they finally, like, hand me my child, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like, it's a beautiful magic moment until he starts turning blue because I'm not holding the baby right. Like, you have to, like, oh, right, the head, otherwise it's going to fall off. And you have to hold the head. And then, like, I'm looking at a, like, sweet little tapeworm, and I see my, like, sweaty, exhausted wife. And I'm like, all right, so, like, in a couple years from now, you want to do all of this again. But now we have a beautiful little tapeworm, and I'm really happy. Thanks so much, guys, for listening. Have a great night. Let's bring back live. Woo!
That was literally the worst white guy, whatever that was, ever. Did you see what we did? We were all fucked up. Nobody knows what to do. I grabbed his palm, he grabbed mine. Our fingers tangled. How you guys doing? You guys are, I want to say, everyone, I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. You guys are fucking troopers. You're killing it. You guys want us to get heaters for next time? Maybe we'll get heaters. You guys want to keep coming out? We'll keep getting heaters. Fuck, that was great. I do got to tell you also, Dan Rosen, he's got a show called Game of Crones. Game of Crones. You're like, is that a joke? It was like, yes, it is a joke, but it's also a real thing. So you can check out Game of Crones. Like Game of Thrones. You guys get it, right? Yeah. He's got a one-man show. He's premiering it this fall here in Toronto. So please check that out. And also make sure, hit us up if you're not doing it already. Hit us up on Insta. That's where I am the most. You can follow us other places. But then to do that, the reason I'm telling you is so you connect to the other comedians. And you can follow them and support them so they don't have to leave and go to somewhere that's currently on fire. All right? And you're like, fuck, I would love that fire right now. You guys, we need to light some candles, maybe light one of these. Let's light a couple of these boards and maybe a table on fire for you guys. If you guys are okay with it, I'm okay with it. Yeah. We only got one more act, though. So, fuck, this is great. I fucking love this, guys. This is amazing. There it is. Give it up for the broiler here. BK Broiler, a.k.a. Fort Knox. Doing it. All right. Yeah, hit us up on Instagram. Also, don't forget to hit us up on Dropbox. You guys on Dropbox? You guys on Dropbox in the back? Dropbox is the next big thing. Remember when TikTok was about to blow up? Now it's Dropbox. I'm giving you some Gary V tips right here. I know what's coming down the horizon. It's Dropbox. You guys know Dropbox? You on Dropbox? When your file's too big, drop it in my box. Drop it in my box. When the drive's all full, drop it in my box. Drop it in a box. Guys, we're doing it here. Seriously, though, hit me up on Dropbox. You on Dropbox? You guys on Dropbox? Okay, let's do it. All right, you ready? We're going to bring this fucking alley show right to a close. We're going to bring it home tonight. You guys ready for your final act of the night? Yeah, you. I'm talking to you guys. Yeah, like, where is he? He's in the back somewhere. There's a lot of action. Guys, this guy has he's performed at the 420 Comedy Fest. He's a regular at the Underground Comedy Club and also at the Corner Comedy Club. And he's a regular here at the Alley now. He's the third or fourth time. Give it up for Jeremy Dobski, everybody. Jeremy Dobski.
Thank you. Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna lay down and just give up from hypothermia. Look at you shaking. You're wearing pants that don't even retain heat. It's over. You can't wear pants like that anymore. Those pants when you take them off, they're gonna be like hard to, like, they're not stretching anymore. They're frozen. You know. Like I've worked like events where you have to like build screens, and if those screens are on a cold truck, you can't get those screens. They're made of the same shit as your pants. That's crazy. I'm wearing this tiny jacket. I'm free. I don't even have hair on my head. You know, I'm like, I should wear a wig in the winter just to make sure. You know, I mean, I got this beard. I gotta wear a hat every day, not because I'm embarrassed about being bald, but because I'm either cold or getting sunburned all the time. You laugh, but that's fucking racist or something, man. You know, you're on your way? All right, man. We're going to be a handsome bald. I say balds because we're a visible minority nobody talks about. There's a wage disparity for us people as well. I mean, people think I'm bald. I know I just lost my baby hair. I'm just waiting for my adult hair to grow in. My hair fell out. I put it under my pillow, and I just wait every day for the alopecia fairy to come bring me 2 quarters. What is this alley? Why are we we're in the only above ground alley in the world. What the fuck is this? It's like a level in Mario Kart or something. I'm not driving the above ground alley and these doors. I feel like a landlady with curlers is gonna be like, your rent is late again, Cossington, you know? And Mark's like, oh, today. And he goes to this store and comes out of that one, and then like a dog and his 4 friends come out of that one, you know? No, nobody's a Scooby-Doo fan. It's spooky season. God, you know what? They keep dropping Scooby-Doo, and I just keep watching them all. You know, there are like 3 new Scooby-Doo shows right now, and they came out with a movie last year. Did you know that? No, but it doesn't matter. But because, you know what? Somebody's consuming it. It's me. I have like love in my heart for Scooby-Doo. I don't even know, like, I saw like Goofy. I don't give a fuck about this dog, but Scooby-Doo, I have like when they call the new Scooby-Doo, my heart flutters, you know? Everybody's got something they love that way. Mine's just, fuck, I love that dog and his mystery-solving friends, you know? Love all of that stuff. Oh, man, yeah, I don't know. This is this is cool, though. You know, you got umbrellas above you in case it rains, I guess. Lars was like, we got to save money for we got to raise, like, when this opened, he was like, man, the umbrella budget is just, you know. He opened this place so he could collect umbrellas, actually. The way I love Scooby-Doo, Lars is like, damn, that's a good umbrella. Oh, man. The Goofy thing reminded me, I'm going to tell you my favorite, I've never done this before, but I'll tell you my favorite street joke ever, and then I'll tell you more of mine. Honestly, so that Mickey Mouse comes home to Minnie Mouse, and she's packing her bags, and he goes, what's going on? And she goes, I'm leaving you. He goes, are you fucking crazy? She goes, no, I'm fucking Goofy. That's fun, right? That's a good one. I like that one a lot. That's like my favorite. That's one of my favorites. Oh man, I'm so cold. You know, it's great. It was hot yesterday. I was like, man, it's crazy. The oceans really were on fire this year. He's talking about LA being on fire. The middle of the water was on fire. You guys see this shit? You not see this? No, man.
I saw that.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what happened. The ocean was on fire. You know, water on fire. We fucked up the simulation, man. Whatever Sims creator is in charge of this is mad now. He's like, fire on the water. Like, God damn. You guys saw that? There was fire in the water. Like, it's impossible. We got it. I'm out here. I did a show this summer, all summer, trying to raise money to save the oceans. And then the oceans are on fire. Like, I don't even like the ocean. I don't like the ocean at all. Why do people want to go back into the... People are like, we got to go to the beach and go into the ocean. We left the ocean. We left for a reason. We grew legs and lungs and got out of there because it's fucking terrifying. I don't like anything about the ocean. I don't like anything that's in the ocean. And I'll save the ocean. Don't show me videos of what lives in it, you know? You ever watched videos of what's inside the ocean? It's disgusting. It's either monsters or boogers or some sort of booger monster. I don't like any of it. Also, I'm a terrible swimmer, so that might have some of that has to do with it, you know. Like I can like tread water, you know. I was allowed to swim in the deep end of camp. And the oceans were on fire, and it was like the same week that like a bunch of churches were burned down in Canada. Which makes sense, but it's also like maybe we should just slow down a little bit. People are mad about masks and vaccines and stuff, you know. Also, why are the anti-mask people also racist? Why can't you just not like one thing a lot? What the fuck? Also, I don't mind the mask. There was a lady sitting back here before wearing the mask just to keep warm. I'm like, that's smart. The mask isn't the worst. People are like, oh, but we need to breathe in fresh air and you shouldn't muzzle the children. First of all, muzzle the children. Shut those things up already. Everyone's worried about the children. My neighbor's children have been screeching for 2 fucking years straight. They don't even know there's a void in which to do that. If I want to screech in public, I have to go inside my car. You have to have assets in order to scream into the void. You understand? It's crazy. We got to have fresh air. We haven't had fresh air in 100 years. Babies are born with plastic inside of them. And you want to raw dog this shit? Give me a fucking break, man. I'm happy to wear the mask. Plus, it's good. There are good things about it. Anybody else kind of like the mask? Like, we may not have ended the pandemic, right? People are like, remember during the pandemic? It's during the pandemic forever. It's forever. We didn't end it. The pandemic's going. We did end an epidemic, though. We killed off one virus called close talkers. Rejoice, everybody. No one's ever speaking into your mouth at a party again. It's fucking people. They're just, did you hear that? And they're spitting. They always talk into your mouth, like in your ear. Remember that shit? Remember at parties, someone shouting into your ear while you're trying to like have a good time? At a concert? You ever go to a concert with someone who can't shut the fuck up? Hey man, what do you want? Because they can't even hear them. They're just, hey, what, anything for the choir. It's like, I can help myself, man. I need to get, you know. But man, fucking, we killed off close talkers. The embarrassment is gone. You know, where you got bad teeth, cover your face up forever. Who cares? Hey, gross. You got a fucking cold sore, whatever. You know. It's not gross to have cold sores, but it is fun to go, ew, cooties, you know? You know, what are you, farting? Oh my God, I just been farting. I don't care anymore. You can fart wherever. I'm at the grocery store just putting around like, should I get frozen or fresh broccoli for dinner? Love it. Oh, and at the grocery store, you're wearing a mask and everything's self-checkout now because you don't want to interact with people, right? Everything's free. It's all free. Just take stuff. They're not gonna. What are they gonna just zoom into these baby blues and be like, "Oh, let's identify that." They're not finding it. Everything is fucking free. I'm like, everything's too expensive. It's mine now. Love it. I love it. I kind of dig the mask, and I feel kind of sexy every time I leave a store. I'm like, you know, like Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. Yeah, I kind of like it. I don't mind it so much. Yeah, the oceans were on fire. A couple churches were on fire. Kind of made me reminisce. Remember when Notre Dame was on fire a few years ago? Remember that? That was kind of cool, right? Look, one of the biggest churches in the world was on fire. It was Easter week. During Easter week. Big church. Also, don't get offended by me saying that's cool. It's not your church. None of you go there. Does anybody go there? Is that a church that people go to? I feel like Notre Dame is like, it's like Disney World for like Catholics, you know? You go there and all the priests are actually just acting like theater students, you know, signing autograph books just to get through college. He was like, sure, I'll do this for the paycheck. But also like Easter week, one of the biggest churches in the world on fire, like that's just good entertainment. I don't care what you believe in. That's amazing. That's real estate. That's like good timing, you know? That's amazing. Also, God did it. God burnt that church. They didn't find an arsonist. They didn't find like an electrical problem. They didn't find a priest asleep in confession with like a cigarette lit out on, you know, on his robe with an altar boy under his arm. None of that. They found none of that. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Ooh. Let's not talk about that. Yeah, they didn't find any of that. You know what happened? God was like, y'all been fucking up. Time for a white people church to burn for once, and people set it on fire. Look, I'm Jewish. I don't give a fucking fuck about your church, okay? I went to the Vatican once with my mom, and I was like, why are we here? To get our stuff back? Excuse me, Mr. Francis, I believe that menorah belongs to us. I watched, dude, I loved when Notre Dame was on fire. I ate 2 whole bags of communion wafers and watched that shit burn. Look, don't be judgmental. I know there's a lot of carbs in the body of Christ, but you know, it's my cheat day. I was allowed. Oh, man. You know what's crazy? This city spends money on the dumbest shit. Have you noticed that crossing guards are fucking everywhere now? And they give them nice jackets, too. It's not, also, okay, first of all, can we admit crossing guards aren't helping anybody but themselves? Most of the time, it seems like someone who just needed to leave the house. Right? Like, every crossing guard I come across helping, I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to help you cross the street. It's like geriatrics and developmental issues, you know? Sure, bring along your stuff. Oh, and your thermos, too. Let's go. Come on. I don't know. Why are we spending money on this? With the homeless, I feel so bad for the homeless people. Not only does the city spend, what, $33 million to beat the shit out of them and break down their houses, but now nobody carries change even. I don't have any change. I have to get creative. Like, I like to help people. You know, I really like to help people. Homeless people come up to me, they're like, do you have any change? I have to be creative. I'm like, change is inside of you. You just have to want it really badly. But it is weird that I have to take care of these. Like, why is it up to me to do all these things? Why is it up to me to save the ocean? I'm just one bald man, you know? Why is it up to me? I don't know. I do what I can. I have to help homeless people, you know? Like, I don't want to be like, oh, they're like, do you have any change? I'm like, yeah, hold on. How much is this human life worth for me? I got a nickel. You want to have 5 cents? It looks like a quarter. You can visualize it, man. It changes inside. You just have to want it really badly. You know? It's really, really ridiculous. Like all of it, you know, like the whole thing. Like I feel bad for them. Especially like like think about this. Like it's all about like the whole reason the city did this whole thing where they tore down, you know, all these homeless encampments is mostly because of like the housing crisis. But they don't want poor people to be visible. They want people to think that the city is full of empty fucking condos and nobody's living in. It's crazy. Like it's getting to the point like right now we've lost millions of people on this planet and rent everywhere has gone up. Why? How? Don't you want to fill some vacancies? Give me a con. I'll pay for it. I'll live there forever. I don't feel like you'll never have to worry about where the money's coming from, you know? It's getting to the point now where, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do when I die. I'm supposed to buy a plot of land? I can't afford land now while I'm alive. I'm supposed to own it when I'm dead? Why? How is that fair to the living? What a slap in the face. And it's underground, dude. I just moved out of basements. I finally have windows in my life. I don't even invite women over to have sex anymore. I just want to show them sunlight's coming into my house. Like a caveman who just discovered fire. I'm like, whoa! I hold up a plant like, I can take care of you now. It's alive! You know? Can you imagine? So, like, I do have a bit of a solution, but here's the thing. Like, think about this. Imagine if the cops, they wanted to clear out the parks because they want all the people to have like the park space, the recreation space. Can you imagine if the cops did to like a cemetery what they did to the homeless encampments? I saw your face, right? To a cemetery. Can you imagine if they did that? The same thing. Where they're just tearing things apart, beating up the body. Like it's crazy. They could beat a homeless guy to death. But the minute that's a dead body, you can't desecrate the body, you know? Can you imagine if they did? Why do we treat dead bodies like they're more important than living people? That's wild. That's fucking wild, man. So here's my solution for the housing crisis is we dig up all of that garbage. It's not compost, right? I'm environmentally conscious. Take all that compost, get rid of it, and build affordable housing there. Stop burying people. Use it as jet fuel. Grandma's jet fuel now. Now when you're like, oh, she's up there, she actually is. We can't keep everybody's grandma. We spent 2 years protecting everybody's grandma. We can't do it. We can't do it. We got rid of a lot of unwanteds during 2020. I'm sorry. We can't keep everybody. We got rid of a lot of Italians. No, I'm just kidding. I have a bit of a grudge because when I was a teenager, I dated an Italian girl, and her dad wouldn't let me in the house because I was Jewish. And I thought that was really rude of him that he made his daughter have sex in the car that night. I was trying to bring her to her house where she was safe and comfortable and recognized her surroundings, her own bed. But he was like just so racist. He was like, nope, no Jews, and nailed a bunch of pork into the door frame to make sure I wouldn't pass through it. Got rid of a lot of old people during a resource crisis. Not the worst thing in the world. My own grandma, I test her, virility. And when she walks by, I stick my foot out and she trips. She can get back up with her hips intact. I give her more resources. Here's a bag of cornmeal and a spoon, Grandma. Hobble up back to your cave. I'm kidding. I love my grandma. But if she died during a resource crisis, I'd be like, well, one less old person to keep, you know? People are worried about the kids, too, I was saying, you know? We're lucky the kids are stupid. We're lucky. You realize they could have figured out they could have Lord of the Flies did us this whole fucking time? Could have taken us all out. They're the carrier bats. That's the reservoir bats. The COVID bat is children now. That's it. Like they could have done it. And I'm not worried about them. Like I said, they're just playing. Like kids it's so easy for them. It's easy for them. It's us that are fucked up. The kids don't fucking know what's going on. You just tell them whatever. Kids just have fun no matter what's going on. Remember you would just come up with games on the spot as a kid? Remember that? Remember that game you used to play where you just turn your eyelid inside out and show somebody? Whether or not they had a good time, you did. Because bullying is fun. Like we forget that bullying is fun. Not internet bullying, that's for nerds, but like like that kind of bullying. Remember in school there was always a kid who would cry a little too easily, like all the time. Just drop a pen on the floor and just start bawling his eyes out. Probably a sign of abuse at home, but you're also a kid, so you're like, let's get him to do it 6 times today. Remember that day we used to play? I used to play this game where we just pick up a handful of rocks on the playground, throw them in the air, and duck. We called that one who's not getting staples in their face today. Anybody just used to throw shit in the street? Anybody just used to throw stuff in the street and wait for cars to run over it? That was the best game. It's like, what's going to happen to this one, right? One time I found a package of unopened pudding cups and just laid them out on the street, ruined some guy's car. Throw a light bulb, right? It's so satisfying. That game makes more sense to play as an adult, though. We all have like a box or a closet or like a room or a basement full of stuff. We're like, what do I do with this? I can't just throw it out, throw it in the street, make a fucking day of it. You know? What was I? There was something else I was saying. Oh yeah, my grandparents. I'm like, I haven't seen my grandparents in over 2 years. That's the longest I've ever gone. I'm very close with them. I love my grandparents. They're still alive, you know, and they're probably not for a long time. So I gotta see them. But I've been talking to them on Zoom. You know, you send them the Zoom call, and they're like, oh, phone numbers. Who's calling those phone numbers on the Zoom call? You know, when you send an invite, it's like 6 phone numbers. Hello, Zoom? It's me. It's just a meeting. Am I late? But I send my parents, so we do the Zoom call. And here's the thing. My grandma is just one of the funniest people I've ever known. She, when I first started doing comedy, I would just like do a lot of dirty jokes. A lot more dirty jokes. I don't think I said one so far tonight. But I would do a lot of dirty, and I remember she wanted to come see me, and my older sister was like, you don't want to go see him. She's like, why? She's like, well, you don't want to hear him talk about 69ing. My grandmother was like, what is 69ing? My older sister explained it to her, and my grandma was like, well, that's not what it looks like. It looks more like an 88. And she's from war-torn Russia, so she's like, and that way I ate and he ate. I'm like, all right, come on, Grandma. My grandma's a fucking dirty old bitch. Let's go, Grandma. I love you. What are you guys talking about? 69? 88. Let's go 88 after this. It's kind of fun. It's like the only time where you're like, cool, there's a butthole in my face, you know? It's the only time someone's like puts their ass in your face and they're like, nice. Any other time, not so much. But anyway, so then there's my grandfather. My grandfather's just like the nicest, quietest man in the world. Just just like quiet, sits, does his own thing, doesn't talk too much, you know. And we were on this Zoom call, and in the middle of the call, my grandmother goes, "Did you know that your grandfather went to go see Brokeback Mountain in theaters alone?" I'm like, okay. Well, first of all, that movie came out like 20 years ago. You need to let go of stuff, Grandma. You can't hold grudges. You got an old heart, you know. I like to keep you around. Also, what do you think was happening in this Oscar-winning movie theater? You know, this movie's directed by Ang Lee. Made Project. Like, what do you think? Why do people, when you say Brokeback Mountain, everyone acts like it was a big hit? That movie's sad. No one's fucking doing Brokeback Mountain. That's one of the saddest movies I've ever seen. Also, it's kind of cool that an old guy went to go see that movie, and he probably went alone to get away from whatever behavior this is, Grandma. And she goes, that's all fine, but why would you go see that movie? And this is how nice my grandfather is he just goes, why do I care what those fellas were doing? They had nice horses in that movie. Because he just likes horses and cowboys. He's like, wow, a cowboy movie? And he's so nice, he minds his business when he watches a movie. He's like watching Brokeback Mountain. He's like, wow, look at the sunset. Glorious mountain. Beautiful horses. And then 2 men kiss. He's like, well, that's not my business. And holds up a newspaper in front of his face. Oh, man. One of the most dangerous things I did during COVID, other than share a microphone with other people probably during lockdowns, I guess, is I was dating. I was dating quite a bit. And it was interesting. First of all, you send the Zoom calls. That's like so you meet on the apps, right? You send the Zoom call, and then you do this like interview. And it was actually kind of nice because you could be like, oh, no, not you. And you don't actually have to go anywhere. It was kind of cool. So you do this interview, you go over your arbitrary rules that you've made up because the government gave up on us like almost right away, And you go over your rules, you share your bubble, you leave a couple people out of your bubble just to stay safe, just say to seem safer, not to be deceptive. Everybody's fucking up at this time, right? You guys meet during COVID or no? No? You guys getting married then? Fuck. Congratulations. I saw that face. Oh man, you better fucking give this one a ring. That was a face. She was like, yeah, are we getting married? Because I put up with your shit. He put up with your shit too, okay? So anyway, you go over your bubble, you leave a couple people out of your bubble, et cetera, and then you meet up and you have sex because there was nothing to do for 2 years. Sex. I fucked my way through the pandemic, man. I wasn't gonna jerk off for 2 years. They told me 2 weeks. I was like, better get on the app and meet somebody. So I meet these people, but everybody had their rules. One woman wanted me to go get tested just for COVID, by the way. All the other viruses, whatever. COVID though, she wanted to make sure. She was like, I can't give grandma syphilis. I could give grandma syphilis. Probably won't give grandma syphilis. And even if I do give grandma syphilis, there's penicillin. Is that still a thing that people use? Or do we still use it? Is penicillin still the antibiotic? Is that it? I don't know. Is there a doctor in the house? I felt like I was in high school again. Like, can I go on the field trip? I had to bring her paperwork in order to have sex. Here's my doctor's note so I could go on the ride. Then another woman, the next one was she wanted to have sex with the masks on, but no condom. I was like, I don't even know what this is. You're a real fucked up sense of safety, lady. You shouldn't have kids. We should use condoms for sure. How are you going to take care of children with this mindset? What are you going to dress them in the winter in scarves and sandals? Jesus Christ, a bikini and a beanie ain't going to cut it. And then I went on a date that seemed kind of normal. It was kind of normal. We were smoking some weed, started making out, and then she said, we don't have to use condoms because I have an IUD. But I was really stoned, so I thought she told me she had a DUI. I was like, well, I'm not going to come inside of you just because you're an alcoholic. Anyway, I came inside of her because that's where it goes. What do you want me to take it home with me? Where was I supposed to put it? And then I called her a taxi and it crashed and she's dead now. So I'm kidding, she's alive. I just don't talk to her anymore. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Really. Have a good night. Let's take Mars back.
Keep going. You saw Jeremy Dobski earlier. You saw Sandra Battaglini. Let him hear it. Sandra Battaglini. You saw Patrick Hakeem. You saw Dan Rosen. I've been your host, Lars, tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking at me right now and you're like, is that a pizza hoodie? You're fucking right. I'm serious about this Prime President of Canada America shit. I'm serious. It's not delivery. It's the Larsio. Free pizza for everybody! Pizza party! Pizza party! Pizza! It's for real. Turn around. Pizza party! Good night, everyone. We do it every Friday, Saturday. Thank you so much, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Have a good night. Good night. Good night. Pizza party! Pizza party! Pizza party!
Set that aside.
Yeah. Oh, even that. That's the fucking.